Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to Talking Town. This is a breaking news edition of Talking Town. There's been huge developments over the course of this afternoon. In case you've been living under a rock, takeover talks have accelerated, and we're possibly looking at next month. TWTD announced, and it's obviously an American consortium, hence the overlay and the music and all of that. And I really want to get you guys and girls' opinion on this and where you sit on it, because I've noticed on social media over the last hour or so where there's there's some saying really good, some saying not so good, and maybe the better the devil you know. So I'd love to know where you currently sit on it. I'm being joined this evening by two wonderful contributors. I will bring them in back to back and we will get going. I'm sorry we started late. We're technically on American time now, so I suppose we're early.
Man, I'm going techie. You want me, then check me. Just butt me, I'm ready. I need that money in heavy. I'm banging these raps like Pumpy with Shelly. Shell it, bad it, I'm dipping. I said that I'd leave, but I'm back in the kitchen. She pour it, back it, I'm sipping. Feeling away, but she tackling feelings. Man, I'm gully and techie. You want me, then check me. Butt me, I'm ready. I need that money in heavy. Banging these raps like Pumpy with Shelly. Shell it.
I've just thought, Callie, perhaps having royalty on the show is not a good idea.
Well, we're American, right? You know,
Yeah.
I'm excited to sit down here and talk about the Ipswich soccer team. I remember you had Marcus Stewart back in the day, man. He could fly like Jordan. Yeah, man. It's they got a lot of field goals. You don't really get a lot of 3 points. You only get a couple of points. So, really excited to see how it works. That's my worst. That's
Right, Cruncher, Callie, Hard Truth. Let's really dig into this. We've got numerous comments in the live chat. I love it. There's going to be a link coming shortly. So if you want to come on and have your say, you can do. I will release that in a second. But so where do we want to start? Let's start with what we know, which if I'm going off the TWTD report, guys, it is that a takeover is close. We understand the deal to be worth, well, it's TWTD says 30 million, but the Athletic earlier said, was it 17 or 19, Crunch?
17 and a half, wasn't it?
17 and a half. And the understanding is, I think that Marcus Evans will retain 5%. And then we're going to have Marcus, I think, retaining Bent Lane, land around Bent Lane,
Some
is
of
it?
Yeah, some of it.
Some of it. And some of Playford Road. So basically, which is why it would indicate the fee is so less, if you like, with all the debt wiped clear, right? Because most people have said 17 million. I can't believe that's too little, but it makes sense when you get into the financials of 5% and what he's owning and what he's retaining. It makes a little bit of sense. But where do we stand on it? That's all the sort of facts and figures. I can run through those properly if people want me to. If people want to get sort of caught in the nettles and the weeds, so they convince McMahon saying, yes, love the jumper. Yes, you can pull it down, sir. Love it.
That's actually the second time I've heard the US national anthem, because where we live here, RAF Alconbury, it's sort of, this used to be the old airfield where we live, and at 5 o'clock they play our national anthem, because there's still like some people live on the base up the road, and then they play the US national anthem every day at 5 o'clock. So I was out there at 5 o'clock, wasn't I?
I know it word for word. I know it word. I'm big in my American culture, and I love it. But come on, those are the weeds. I can go through those financials again if you want me to. If people want to know that information more delicately. But where do we stand on this? This is huge news as a town fan. Link is now in the chat. Guys, girls, get involved. Callie, kick us off. Where are you as a town fan? Is this exciting, or are you like Nick? Oh, I don't know actually.
Well, I followed the soccer club for about 20 years now, and they play some exciting soccer, real fast-paced soccer. I think if the tractor guys and girls can really get going this season, we could potentially see a playoff final or a world championship. I definitely think we could be the world champions, 100%. But no, seriously, I need to stop the American accent because it's going to go really bad. There's a thing with Ipswich and Marcus. He's had potential takeovers over the years. Has this, okay, this is a couple of months in the making or whatever. takeovers don't happen overnight. I know we're saying it's
No.
taken 6 months or whatever it can be, but we were just talking before the show. The Derby one's a classic example. That still ain't gone through yet. The money around it is it seems a bit dubious to me, because he's been wanting 30 odd million. So he's been wanting 30 odd million is what he values his club at. The club is actually, if you go on something like Transfer Market, you go on there, the club is actually valued at around £16 million anyway. So it looks like, they're just paying the the value of it, rather than whatever, if Marcus has added an asking fee on there. And buying the land around it suggests maybe he still wants to, maybe if we go up or whatever, he can then flip that and get a bit more investment from it. But
Well,
I don't know.
We think, Crunch, the money is from a pension fund from an unnamed US state, fire and police. Now, if that was my pension, I would not be happy this evening, because, quite frankly, Ipswich Town is not an investment I'd want my money going into. But, however, is Evans retaining the 5%, retaining some of the land? Is this almost him? It's him as I saying, like, I give up. I'm done with this. However, if you guys come in and make it a success that I wasn't able to, I can recoup some of that 100 million I've wiped off. Or at the very least, if it all goes Pete Tong, I've still got some land I can sell you.
Yeah, definitely. He's look, we can all look. I'm excited because we've all heard the last 2 or 3 weeks. There's been plenty of rumours. Everyone's on social media, is it true? Is it not? I've had messages from ex-players saying there was a little bit sort of behind the rumours. When I read it today, quite interesting. Ipswich link there, Martin, with Frank Yallop.
Yeah. Rumour has it we did inspire him, Crunch.
Yeah. Arizona United, the guy, he took over them, and then Frank, he was in charge of them. And then they come Phoenix Rising. So, look, it is exciting, but I think we need to, at the end of the day, we've had Marcus for, 13 years?
Mm-hmm.
The bills have always been paid on time, Martin. We've never had a problem with that.
Except the times when HMRC have issued winding up orders.
Well, yeah, but it's always got paid in the end.
Oh, yeah. Except, what the fuck me? You've gone from saying always paid in the end. Which one is it?
It is... Careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish for, because we're all excited at the minute, and I'm as excited as the next one. But let's keep your feet on the ground. Wait to see when it's done. Wait to see who they bring in, because obviously they rumoured the guy from Bristol City. Yeah. If you put Bristol City into Twitter and you get his name up, they're not that happy. I can't remember the guy's name. He was at Watford before. Didn't make a great success of it then, but I think we've been crying out for fresh investment for a long while under Evans, because what's the debt? 100 million is it now? And it's only
but that 100 million. Sorry, we got to let's just have a timeout here. Timeout, foul on the play, flag on the play, right? For a double dribble, right? The 100 million debt, 50 million off it, at least 50 million is offset against Marcus Evans' group itself. So our actual debt as a football club has increased because of Marcus Evans' ownership and what he's pumping in around other areas of his business interests. If it was a single owner that only had this business and not other businesses, then it would be just be 50 odd million apparently. So that's what I've read anyway.
Well, let's bring in. Oh, hang on, no, he's just gone. Okay, I won't bring in him. I'll bring in USA. Some of the names, by the way, on my VIP area is just outstanding. I can't wait to bring him in. Steve, welcome in, my man. How are you?
I'm all right. Keeping going.
Well, Jeff for dinner, Steve. Jeff hot dogs.
I was having a hot pot later. That's about.
What's all this? All right. I'm bouncing off the bloody walls here. What do you mean you're all right? No, come on. This is it. We've been free falling for years. At least make the jump before we die. Let's try something.
Oh, trust me. It broke as I was going shopping with my missus. Yeah, and I turned around to my missus and I went, "Fucking great. Twitter's been dull all bloody week, and then all of a sudden something comes out and I'm going shopping." You know what I mean?
Dull all week? I've done 4 shows, you cheeky sod. I mean, dull all week.
This isn't Twitter.
Last week. Were you not there last night, Steve, when we had Andy Holt on?
Yeah, I was.
He's actually messaged me, Martin. He messaged me with a little smiley face saying things are looking up.
Steve, tell me what you feel about this while I hunt out this statement that I'm being told to read, right? Keep going, Stuart. Tell us what you feel about it, mate.
Well, I tell you what, yeah, I was here with Marcus Evans' last takeover when Marcus Evans took over, and there was a lot exactly the same as there is now. There was a lot of hype, but there's for me, there's a difference now. We didn't know who Marcus Evans was. We know who this guy is. You know, I've had a look into his background. You know, he's done tremendously well with that American club that he has. You know, he has that club as well. I think is it in Norway or Sweden or Denmark, something like that. You know,
yeah.
They went from League Two. They're now sixth. You know, this season they came sixth in League One. You know, all in the space of 2 years. This guy knows what he's doing. If he knows, if he's the kind of guy who knows that, if he just wants to flip us, fine. But if he knows what he's doing to flip a club, I don't care whether they bring in Lord Lucan. So long as he flips this club and makes this club better, I quite frankly don't care. This is all we're asking for. Someone who knows the game, knows what they're doing. And he's going to bring in people who know the game.
There you go, Steve. That's where you've hit the nail on the head there, because that's what we need.
Structure.
I
have got a statement from our illustrious football club, which I'd just like me to read out. It says, Ipswich Town have released a statement in response to today's report in the Athletic. It said that Blues owner Marcus Evans had been in talks with various parties for at least 6 months, unspecified right of the debt. As asked for his response, a club spokesman told the EADT and Ipswich Star. Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better already. But Marcus Evans reiterates that he is not actively looking to sell the club and remains fully focused on taking Ipswich back to the Championship. However, as he has also stated in the past, he would speak to interested parties if they can prove themselves to be credible buyers that would prove sustainable long-term investment. Now, I'm hoping that's the same mouth he uses to say he wants to win the league, because when he says he wants to win the league and brings in Ollie Hawkins, those two things don't match up. So if he's saying he don't want to sell the football club, I'm hoping really what he means is I'm basically begging the Americans to fly over here tomorrow because I want to sign. I can't.
But that's business speak, isn't it? That's like just business speak, because
not just that.
You're not going to.
Sorry, Callie. I think a lot of that has to do with Saturday as well, because the likelihood is this could be Paul Lambert's last job, especially if there was, the discussion as Paul Lambert was uninterested, got quite heated by all accounts. This could be his last game. I think a lot of that is like, we've got a match on Saturday. Let's all just calm down. We've got things on behind the scenes. We've got a game to play on Saturday, which is a very important game. Let's just dial it down a tad.
You say that, Steve.
I think it's more like it's a business. It's a business. We talked about it, right? It's a business. He's a businessman. Don't put your cards on the table. Say, yeah, I'm ready to sell, because all of a sudden the value, that what you're holding out for, whether it be 16 million or whatever, that's now the Americans are going to say, well, hold on, you want to sell? So here's 10 million or 8 million or whatever it may be. So he's got to be strong in his business mind to say, well, actually, if I'm going to walk away, this is what I want from it. I wouldn't expect anything to come out of the club until there's something. There's something a bit more substantial. He's always going to have that stance.
George's message there.
Luke Penning for the win. The same club spokesman that said there was a fire. Like, to me, it just, and this might be really pessimistic, but to me, it sounds like the paper has read the article in the Athletic or heard about it, whatever it is, gone to the club, say Leo Neal, who's their contact, and he's just said what we already know. Marcus is committed to Ipswich Town Football Club. He remains committed. But if somebody wanted to buy it, I'm sure he would probably sell it. Well, yeah. But the fact is, the Athletic have reported somebody is does want to. There's no smoke without fire. And the Athletic don't report stuff for fun. It's a very credible, big organisation that's across the world. It wouldn't be making it up just, throwing darts at the board on a Friday afternoon. Who's being taken over today?
Just because it's... I was just going to say, just because it's valid now, just because there may be a deal on the table right now, and it may be very close, doesn't mean it's going to go through. I'm not being negative here. I would love for it to be a deal to happen, pure and simply because it looks like there'll be a structure to the club, right? But until it goes through, Derby, Newcastle, Sheffield, Sheffield Wednesday, a few of these clubs all have been so close to takeovers in the last 12 to 18 months, and then it's not happened for one reason or another. We are in the middle of a pandemic as well. I know we're talking about, these owners have done, in the American Football League, and they've done it in Sweden or whatever. You got Bollywood actors doing it in bloody India. Just because you can do it in the Mickey Mouse League doesn't mean you can do it, in the English league. So I don't really judge that, but until it's closer, we'll see.
I don't know. I'd argue the toss there, Karen, because at the end of the day, I go back to the old philosophy that Bobby wrote. Football's a simple game. Doesn't matter where it's done, where it's played. It's all played the same way. The rules are the same. It's done the same. All that's different is skill level. Now, if you improve your skill level, you can do better. That's it. And if these people improve our skill level, we are effectively known, if it was run properly, a lower end championship side. If it was run properly, it's not. Yeah. With a bit of investment, that could move us up a bit. I'm not expecting Premier League, but it could be top half championship. And then we can build from there and see where we go from there. That statement to me just says, at the end of the day, they've answered it without answering it. They don't want to shake the fire, and they've answered it without answering it.
All right, Steve, appreciate your comments. Hope to speak to you over the weekend coming up. Thank you ever so much. Going to bring in Milk Tray Man, joining me some more of Matchday Experience. Milk Tray, what would you say to Facebook user here? It says, I must admit, I'm nervous after years of failure.
Yeah, I
and bad
understand
decisions.
that on the face of it, and I think I joined Cruncher's view, and I certainly Callie's view that our initial reaction is it's everything we've asked for. It's two birds with one stone. It's three birds. It's a new owner, the debt wiped, and the manager. If Carlsberg done football takeovers, it would look something like it's sounding about right now. But I would say, be cautious, because it's almost a bit too good to be true.
I like this, be cautious, crap.
I want it to be. And if there's one football club that can screw up something as great as this, it's probably going to be us. But I really hope we don't. And what I don't want to happen is, let's say this goes through, then we don't start waving checks at opposing supporters we don't like, thinking we're kind of God's gift and everything. Let's just do
that
this.
in Norwich. Did you do that in Norwich, Martin?
£50 note, yeah.
Yeah, waving around at the
I still got it. I'm that tight. I don't spend 50s. Never have, never will. But no, I don't like this cautious thing, Crunch. Like,
it have to be.
Life as a Town fan is so miserable. Let's be honest.
Imagine imagine if you got up here. Oh my God, this is happening on the beers. Fantastic! My God, I can't sleep. Think of the possibility we can get this in, and then it falls apart. I don't think my heart can handle that kind of loss of hope.
I'm a Town fan. I'm used to that. I'm used to my dreams being smashed. I watched us at Norwich, beat them for 60 minutes, and then get absolutely obliterated in the last 20, and that was it. Season over after a whole campaign of near enough running away with the division. I don't want to live in this world where so reserved. Come on, dream of who you're buying tonight as you go to bed. Dream of the stadiums you might go back to. Somebody messaged me this afternoon saying in 5 years' time, Town have left Camp Nou with a 1-1 draw and feel disappointed. Yes,
you can name drop him.
Graham Hack.
You can. Look, I do agree with you, Martin. Football is about dreaming. It is, but until it happens, until Marcus Evans is gone, until Paul Lambert isn't our manager anymore, let's just keep your feet on the ground. Look ahead to Doncaster. Let's get 3 points tomorrow, because we need to get some results now.
We'll cover that later. Yeah. We'll cover that later. Dave, feet on the ground, Cruncher says. Where are your feet right now?
He's got the basketball jersey.
Yeah, I got a Knicks jersey on, so I thought I'd stick that on. So
good man.
I want Lambert gone. I want Evans gone. So I'm happy. I hope this does happen. My only issue is that it's an investment group, isn't it? So they've got no feelings towards Ipswich. They don't care about Ipswich personally. Their feeling is.
What does Marcus, to be honest?
Well, yeah, I agree with that bit.
He's not a fan.
Their feeling is they're buying Ipswich at the lowest possible fee they can get. What, 17.5 million? They're not going to get Ipswich any cheaper than that, and they want to get Ipswich as far up as quick as possible to sell and make as much money as possible. I mean, how much did Burnley sell for? I mean, they went for. And not in fact, if you put Ipswich and Burnley in the same place, Ipswich is a bigger club. It's just simple as bigger fan base, bigger stadium. So everything. That's my concern is that they just, and if that doesn't work, then in 4 or 5 years and we're still League One, bottom championship, do they then just say sod it and disappear?
Where do you see, hand on heart, under current ownership, under current investment, where do you see hand on heart the next 5 years going under Marcus Evans?
Right now, where we are.
Literally. So would you rather not jump and hope you make the other side and at least enjoy the ride for the first 3 years, like we did on the.
Yeah.
When Marcus came in, I think he had the same MO: spend, get up, and possibly sell for a bigger price. And under Keeney did. Early days of Keeney did. We were bringing in Grant Ledbetter. We were bringing in players. Lee Martin for like $2.5 million. I mean, that's just a mental fee in my head. That's just crazy. But I'd rather crunch. Talk to me here. I'd rather leap and spend and have some fun for 16 months than rather sit here and watch my town just suffer and die.
Because listen, how long are we doing this podcast? Since May.
Mm-hmm.
We go over the same things every time. Get rid of Lambert. Get rid of Evans. So. Yeah, look, I'm with you. I'm with you on that ride. I'm not being doom and gloom, but I'm with Callie. Look at Derby. 4 or 5 months they've been taken over and it's still waiting to go through. Newcastle back in the summer, wasn't it? I think it was back in the summer. We all want someone to come in and we all want brighter days ahead. We do, because at the minute.
I want Luke Penning to come on. Oh, he is. Luke Penning. Tell me who the League One Thomas Priskin is, please, so we can go and buy him in the summer. Because that's what town's doing, it. Get money and then go and throw it at Thomas Priskin and players like that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a similar kind of way to all of you guys, really, in the sense that, there's going to be some pessimism. Obviously, you look at an American investors coming into the club, you don't necessarily know what to think. Obviously their end goal is to obviously sell the club on for profit. But when I saw this come around my social media on Tuesday, I tended to take a look about what was going on, and I actually watched a bunch of interviews with Brett, the supposed owner or investor coming in, actually talking about football clubs. And he said a lot of what they want to do is when they go into the clubs like Phoenix Rising and I think El Paso, which they have some link with as well, is to get in a CEO that believes in the community club. They were talking about the importance of fans at clubs and the difference between taking over clubs in America, supposed to those in Europe, like they did with, I think it was Helsingborg in Denmark. So I think, like what you said, really, with Marcus Evans, with how we're going, we are on a decline. We have been on a decline for the last 13, 15 years. But at least with this potential takeover, it gives us fans some optimism. I'm not that fortunate in the fact that for someone that's 24, I haven't really been able to see really any success at the club. The only things of note I've actually had to see.
Sorry? No, Martin's on mute.
I am, you're right. I was saying they're coming, Luke. They're coming. Good times are coming. Americans don't fuck about with sports. That's one thing they take very seriously.
Let's just think about this, right? We're all happy. We're all crying out, and it's almost desperation. It's like we so badly need it to be true, because it's just going to answer all our prayers, right? And it's been a real shit year for everyone with COVID and everything. It's been a real shit 2.5 years as a town fan anyway. So we're all praying that this might be the light at the end of the tunnel. But my question is, forget about the time of the investment and all the rest of it. What's their priority as an investment board or an investment firm? Is it the Phoenix Club? Is it Ipswich? Is it the Heisenberg or whoever? Where's their priority for who they're investing? Because you can't spin all those plates. You can't spin all those plates successfully. One club's got to have more time than the other. Where is it? Because it could be fantastic. Sorry, I was just going to say it could be fantastic.
But then you would say Ipswich, wouldn't you? If you look at the leagues, the MLS, yes, this is an improving league, but it's still the MLS. The other team, what was it, Sweden? I don't know what league that is. The end of the day is the pinnacle league in the world is the Premier League, which Ipswich, with the right backing, can get into and make, as I said, make all the money. So if you say they're going to pick a team, to me, that makes sense to pick Ipswich. That's where they're going to make their biggest investment. If you get Ipswich to a mid-table Premier League team and they sell to some Saudi billionaire, they're going to make a lot of money on their investment.
I think we need to calm down a little. We need to calm down a little bit. We're 12th in League One at the minute.
Not a chance.
No,
not today.
It's all good. Look, it's all about the owners coming in. We're going to talk about the manager. He has to get the right manager in, and then Luke will know about this. It's all about the right recruitment. That's where it's going to come. We've got to be smarter recruiting.
Yeah, that's
the
what
thing
I've
is,
said.
though, already the moves they're making, Luke, sound better than what Marcus Evans has done in the whole time he's been here. They're actually getting a CEO, whether Bristol City fans like him or not. I'd rather be dysfunctional to their level than to ours. They're in a league above us, consistently inside the top 10, 12 places of the Championship, or looking to finish inside theirs. I crave that sort of dysfunction. If that's dysfunction.
Yeah, I kind of agree, really. You know, if that's something that we've wanted for many years as Town fans, is a club to have a structure. You know, we're so used to having, you know, we had Simon Clegg, then we had Ian Mill, and now we've got Leo Neal. Not really people that have been particularly fit for their roles. So to be linked with someone like Mark Ashton from Bristol City, obviously the article, the Athletic article, actually mentions the fact that, you know, he seems a little bit more comfortable at Bristol City at the moment, obviously with them opening the new training ground and appointing Nigel Pearson. But I have seen online as well that if that doesn't go through, maybe Frank Yallop, most recently he has moved up to a general manager type director of football role. So if they weren't able to pry Mark Ashton from Bristol City, maybe bringing in someone like Frank Yallop that knows the club as well could be a potential option. But, you know, that's something that we want. You know, we want to see a team have decent structure. You know, we talked about this the other day with Dave Bowman and the fact that we never hear about him and what's going on there. Bringing in a CEO, someone that can, you know, that knows football first and foremost, that can appoint the right people in terms of managers, coaching staff, recruitment staff, that sort of thing. It sets us in the right kind of frame going forward, because if we don't have solid foundations to build from, you can't go and, you know, appoint these players. You can't talk about the Colby Bishops or the Luke Jeffcotts or people like that. If you have the solid foundations to build from, then it gives us a stable standpoint.
Okay, Dave, Luke, appreciate you. I've got people waiting to come in because I'm getting the messages I always get. Thank you so much. Appreciate you both. You've now got 2 spaces in the VIP area, guys. So if you were trying to get in, you can now. I'll bring Josh and Stuart both in at the same time. Are you, either of you, more optimistic of this? Great points by Luke there. And where are we with you two? Are you more excited than some people we've had on so far? Because I'm fucking off the walls.
I definitely am. Yeah, I definitely am.
What makes you more excited? You know, what makes you excited about it?
Change, to be honest. I mean, potential change, potential. I know it could go either way, to be fair, but potential changes in we could be better, could actually get some investment, could climb the league, could climb the championship.
Sure. Daniel asked, have we read the statement from Stuart Watson? We have. We've addressed it on the show. We're going to address it again. What do you make of Marcus's comments there, where he said he's not actively selling the football club?
What is he planning on doing? That's what I'm getting at. Like, yeah, he's not interested in selling the club, but the way things are gone, we're on that decline, and we're just going to keep going and going until something has to change. And I'm personally, I'm up the wall with all of this talk of new investors coming in and stuff like that. I'm all for it.
He is right, Crunch. Like, Marcus has been, you know, those statements at Christmas time, which were ill-advised, but statements, that was it. Lambert's been sort of given free rein. Something's not added up for a while at Ipswich Town.
Oh yeah, I think if you look back, you knew something was going on, but I'm just a little bit cautious at the minute. I'm not saying, Martin, I'm not excited, because I am, but we were excited in 2008 when Marcus Evans came in, and look how that has turned out. So this shows how desperate we are to get a new owner, but it doesn't mean it's going to work out. I know we can all be excited and yeah, great, we got the Americans coming, but it doesn't mean it's going to work out. Look, we all hope that it's going to, and Frank Gallup's actually just messaged me just now.
Okay. Anything you can read out?
Well, I've got
have a look. I'll bring George in while you have a look at it. George, welcome in. Are you on Evans' side? Do you feel for Evans in this, or are you, and again, somebody who just wants change and wants it now?
I think we definitely need change, because it's just so boring under Evans, isn't it? I mean, I used to go to football and enjoy it. Now I feel like I'm going to football and being punished and being told off, to be honest.
It's a fair point. I mean, it can sometimes feel like that. Adam Flat, America, fuck yeah. Mike D, let's see what happens on season ticket deadline day. A few people have said, and rightly so, Callie, NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. That, you know, Mark isn't going to come out tonight and say, yep, spoke to him this afternoon, deals in the bag, yippee-yi-yay.
Well, this is it. This is why it's let's not get ahead of ourselves. A deal, you know, I'm with me and Rich have been saying the same thing. We both want it to happen. We're both desperate for it to happen. But let's be realistic. Let's just slow it down a little. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We had a good win the other week against Hull. We should be focusing on those kind of things, right? You know, we finally beat a top 6 team, but we're not talking about that. We're all worried about this takeover, and it's fine. But I just can't see it happening anytime soon. I think Mike D put a comment there in the chat saying about, you know, season tickets. It'll probably be announced when season tickets are there or whatever. But these things don't happen overnight. And yes, we want change. Yes, we want people out. But it just slow your roll a little. That's what I'm saying. Let's not get too excited, because if it all goes,
we might get better pies at half time.
But if it all goes wrong, and you know, you got some owners, you know, take us over or whatever, and then they're like, well, actually, we can't get a return on our investment. We're just going to pull out. And you know, love or hate Marcus Evans, he still funded us whatever the couple of million he's paid each year. But you know, fair. He still don't give him money, especially this last season. I'm not an Evans fan, and you know that, but someone could turn around and say, actually, I've been here 2-3 years. We're not making an investment. We're shrewd businessmen. Let's cut our losses. Let's pull out. But then on the flip side, it could go the way, like say Wolves. Wolves had an owner take them over when they got out of League One into the Championship. Fosun come in. They were very much like a consortium group, and they've been playing in Europe. You know, they did Europe for the last 2 seasons. So there's that to look excited to. But let's just teeter on at the moment.
Crunch will tell you how much I hate the phrase Marcus Evans investment in the same sentence. But Crunch, what did Mr. Yallop say?
He just said he's a really nice guy. Let's just wait and see what happens. So there you go.
Oh, fuck me. That's dropping bombshells there, isn't it? I mean, that's really lifting the lid. That's using the context well.
Sorry, just that comment there. Just Mark's comment there. Been talking for 6 months. Yeah, this is a football club. It's a negotiation. It takes more than 6 months. You're in a pandemic. This could take 12 months.
How long does Sunderland take?
But Sunderland had floated this idea of consortium buyers since they went down to League One. So they've been out actively looking to sell or actively looking to do something for 2 and a bit years. Marcus apparently hasn't. You know, he's been waiting. Marcus has been very, you know, arrogant in terms of he wanted his 30-40 million or whatever he felt it was valued at. I just can't see him being that easy and that ready to accept a massive loss.
For me, Stuart, Josh, I feel there's a change this year in Marcus. Like previous years, I do think he's probably stuck to that valuation. But for me, I just feel maybe it's because I'm removed from the football club a little bit in terms of going there. So that's why it feels differently. But I just feel differently about Marcus. I think he feels differently about this year. Like I think he's just coming to the end of the line. Like Andy Holt last night, Crunch, or if you watched, guys, said you're in charge until you sell, or you just can't be bothered anymore. You know, you can't fed up with the bullshit. I think Evans is that point there, Stuart. He's fed up with the bullshit. He's fed up with people going, you're not spending enough. You're not doing this enough. It's not doing well enough. It's not this. Do you feel that of Evans this year?
Well, I feel like he has changed, and I don't know if it's either he's not being bothered or it's coming to an end. I'm not sure on that, but there has been a change where Evans has obviously been quiet for these past few weeks, and obviously these talks coming up of the takeover and stuff like that. But who knows? Who knows? It could possibly mean Evans has come to an end, or he's either getting fed up with it.
Okay. Josh, Stuart, appreciate both of you. Take care of yourself. See you tomorrow, hopefully, for Match Day Ticket. I'm going to bring in Star Spangled Steve, and I'll bring Steve in first. Steve, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. You?
Very well. What are your thoughts, new owner?
I think it's quite interesting timing, isn't it? I think Callie alluded to it in regards to the timing. Just think that we've got so many players out of contract coming up. Is this the hint that actually Marcus doesn't want to put his hand in his pocket and actually renew certain contracts, and whether he wants to just get rid of the club and do that clean slate at that period of time? And maybe that's an ideal time to actually start rebuilding and just thinking about that sort of aspect of it. What do you think?
Guys?
Well, yeah. timing is everything, and that'd be an ideal timing to happen. In true Ipswich fashion, this takeover will take. I have a feeling this takeover could take us into next season.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me to see Marcus Evans as owner of Ipswich Football Club when we come to renew season tickets, when we come to starting off the season, and we're back at Portman Road next season. Not saying that's
what do you think then? Say there is a takeover in the offing. It takes a lot of time. What happens to the manager in the meantime?
The manager's still under contract, so he's got his same terms and conditions of his contract. So he will continue to be contracted to Ipswich Football Club for what's the next 2.5, 3 years, or however long he's got left.
The thing is, they've mentioned Paul Cook. That's interesting to me because Paul Cook won't wait around. So that's interested me a little bit. That's almost a little bit more information than it would be if, two parties are talking, they're fleshing out, they're sounding each other out. Like, that's a plan. And you'd have thought Paul Cook is in on that plan to suddenly see his name splashed across.
I was told this afternoon, Martin, it was confirmed. Paul Cook. So
I wouldn't read. Sorry, I was just going to say I wouldn't necessarily have the whole. If the takeover happens, the manager change doesn't happen, or vice versa. I don't think, ideally, yes, you want them together, but I think one way or another, Lambert is going. Paul Cook will come in. Whether that's a Paul Cook under a Marcus Evans ownership or a US consortium ownership is the other question. But I think it will be Paul Lambert will be gone one way or another, whether or not Marcus is owner or not.
But there's no incentive for Marcus to pull trigger on Paul Lambert until there's a deal in ink, because that's his bank balance that's paying Paul Lambert off.
Yeah, totally. What do we think about Mr. Cook then? Do we think that's the right move through, or? I mean,
Matt Phillips called it back in. Was it June, Martin?
It was back in the summer. Yeah, Paul Cook. I'm not for me. But
no,
really, not for you.
No.
Why?
Not for me. I'd want somebody. This club has to be more forward thinking, more progressive. And if we're going money and we're throwing money at it, I don't think Paul Cook is the right man for it. I want to see somebody who's. Go on.
I was just going to say quickly before I go. He's a short-term fix if we're under Evans.
Okay.
I agree. If we get this multi-million, 100 million investment, and we get the investment, he won't be the manager to take us to Premier League and stuff like that. So something would have to change. I don't think he's got enough credentials.
Carried away talking the Premier League, Callie. I still think we're getting carried away.
Well, just bring D Jones in before you go, Callie. D Jones, welcome in. How you doing? Thank you for joining us.
Hey there. So, Callie, we need. I guess we have to have a little battle on our accents. I think I'll probably win because I can keep mine up long.
Yeah, I had to stop my American accent. I apologize. I'll try harder.
So just to go completely different with this chat, because it really makes no difference to where town are going, in the sense that if the group comes in or don't. If they don't, we're right back where we were anyway. So it's only a positive if they do come in. But just a couple things about these guys. They took over Arizona in 2016 as part investors. They then upped their investment, took it over completely. Okay, where they may be concerned about what are they going to do? Are they going to come in, build it up, throw it away, sell it off? They're still the owners of Phoenix. Since then, they have been, they've now taken on FC Tucson. They're in the process of building a new USL team from the ground up in Rhode Island and spending upwards of $300 million to do that. So the amount that they would spend on town is nothing compared to what they would need to spend in the States. So it's a benefit there. But then on the success side of it, they got Helsingør promoted in Denmark as bit owners there. But in Phoenix, they've won the league. They've set numerous records, including in 2019, their third season in, most consecutive wins by a North American club. 20 wins in a row, okay? That's pretty ridiculous in any league. Most points in the league in a season, most wins in the league in a season, most goals in the league in a season, and the highest goals per game. So the fact is they do things right. They do have an eye on the pitch, not just on the business.
Oh, I see. No, you're not doing anything to keep my feet on the ground here. Like I'm already buying a pint at the Emirates.
The fans are so afraid that they're going to come in, they're just going to strip it or do nothing. The other thing is they build up the club infrastructure, so the area around Portman Road could be built up into an entertainment, dining, match day experience area. You could see a hotel come in there. You could see, what Ipswich envisioned when they started the fan zone, which is pretty basic.
Broncos all around.
Horrible, but it's pretty basic.
Yep.
But it could be turned into something big. Those are the positives that you have with people like this taking over.
Tailgating at the cobbled the Portman Road car park.
Could you imagine? Do you know what? Bring that culture. That's the one culture I love from American sports. Bring tailgating over. I'm all down for that. But yeah. Sure. Anyway, Messi's contract's up in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does he fancy a stint in the Championship or League One?
Well,
this is it.
The other thing
we've got Ollie Hawkins. We're all right.
You have a network team. So
Martin, I'd just like to ask you.
Four or five teams to pool, and you can send kids out to get experience in these other leagues.
Happy days.
Okay. So there's many facets to this that could be a huge positive if it goes through.
He says 20 wins, Crunch. Will we get 20 wins this year, let alone any other year? Like, that's exciting stuff.
Well, I think you said back on when we had Phil Ham, 49 points, Martin. So we've.
I knew I knew Paul Cook was coming in.
You're lowering your I just want to ask you, Martin, if you don't want Paul Cook, who would be your choice? Because I see there was an interesting comment there, Eddie Howe, in the comments.
Well, look, if you had proper owners like it suggested here with ambition and a plan, then yeah, I mean, Eddie Howe, yeah, at the moment in time, it's laughable. He would even think about getting in a car to come down Portman Road. But if he was sold the vision that I've just been sold here, similar to the monorail in The Simpsons, like, I'm all in. Do you know what I mean?
That's
like,
the key.
Dancing across it.
That is the key. It's the vision, because look at Wolves. They got Nuno. They then had Neves and Bolly, who were Champions League players who played in the Champions League, come to Division 1. They were sold the vision. If we don't at the moment, you have Leo Neal trying to sell a dream, right? It ain't happening. So if you've got someone there that can do it, then
he couldn't sell a scarf.
And just to sell a dream from an empty cart. They didn't have anything.
Well, that's it.
There was nothing to see. Another thing that could happen that would make a lot of sense, assuming the academy sticks around. Why wouldn't you have a dormitory situation at Playford Road, where you house your young players? They're not in different people's homes around the town. It's not 1960 anymore. There's no more. There's just no need for it. Bring them all in, create an atmosphere of a team and then you have the ability to bring them in from around the country a little easier, because you've got something where you can say, boom, similar to a college dorm. At least there's a situation where they're given the appearance of being under the watchful eye of their employers.
Absolutely.
Martin, I've got to make moves before I go.
No problem.
Congrats on the new role. I've got to read now, so thanks for that. But I'll be looking forward to reading your little column as well. All right. Never did like reading, but cheers for that.
No problem. Don't worry, I'll do it in video form as well. Don't worry. Thank you, Callie. Look after yourself. George, appreciate your speech over the weekend, hopefully. Sid, come and join us. Come and join the fun. What do you think about it?
I have not stopped smiling since Crunch sent me the text earlier on. I was doing backflips off the scaffolding earlier on.
He said he was somersaulting off the scaffolding.
I didn't know Crunch was doing a personal text messaging service.
Hey, I've got fingers in all pies, and I.
Yeah, less said about that.
I'm just sake.
Come on, Sid. You can't come on this show about nothing to say. It's not carnage blankety blank,
Oh no! Don't start that again. No, I'm just.
Have you got it for him? Read it out again, Martin.
During the war, my brother ate nothing but wow meat. The only problem is, everywhere he goes, he blanks. Come on, Sid.
I'm just so excited, really. I mean, I started following Town properly just when Keane took over, and I've known nothing but shit for the past, what is it now, 12 years, something like that. I haven't wiped the smile off my face since I heard the news.
Sounds to me like, you know, what Darryl says, what D Jones is saying there. This is an owner that, or consortium that will have a plan, will implement a plan, but more importantly, kind of let people who know the sport run the club, Crunch, and they won't be phoning up Charlie Austin and saying, Charlie, come and play for Ipswich. Oh, you want that much? No, I'm all right, thanks. Like they'll trust somebody to do it.
Well, that's what we've been we've been crying out on the pod. We've said this for a long while, haven't we? I wouldn't have had a problem if Marcus stayed if he put someone in to run the football club. That wouldn't worry me. But it looks like he's going to go. So get these guys in. Get someone in who knows how to run a football club. Look, the guy at Bristol, whoever it is, maybe Frank Yallop comes in. There'd be that link there, which I think we'd all like. And look, I'm a little bit excited. He has sold it to me down there. He sold it to me a little bit more than you did, Martin.
He knew more about it.
Crunch,
he did.
Your little eyes lit up when it started saying about that. I could see it.
I'm in the hotel
Bronco.
already.
I want a bucking Bronco in the fan zone.
The thing is, though, we all moan about the customer experience. It will get better, won't it, D. Jones?
It was. And Ian Milne used to talk about that all the time. So he would come over and visit NFL stadiums. I definitely wouldn't model it after that because they're not as much fun as they appear. But it's just, it's what can be built around. And obviously it's a different culture here as it is to there because generally the stadiums here are near nothing. Whereas in town, everyone goes to their pub before the match. Well, now you'd sort of be trying to draw those people to the ground before the match. So you wouldn't want people, dotted around town ahead of time. You want them at the ground 2-3 hours ahead of time in the club bars in that. So, in that sense, it's a different culture. But at the end of the day, if those bars, those pubs, those restaurants that could be centered around the ground are worth coming to, people are going to come anyway.
Mm. Well, lucky for us, they've shut all the bars around the ground. So,
for the moment, by the time you get them built, it won't be.
No, absolutely no.
Proof.
I'm all for it. I really am. The more I let D Jones speak. Sorry, I don't know your first name because you just put D. Darryl. I thought it was. I didn't want to say it earlier because I was wrong. The more Darryl speaks, the more I'm buying in. Like he's just hooking me here. Come on, surely Crunch, you're more bored. You're more excited. You're more.
I'm now. I've heard him speak and he's sold it to me. I'm bouncing off the walls. I've got some Moe, Martin, in the cupboard. So as soon as it's announced, I'm popping it.
You know how the Ipswich Town we want to get people in the fan zone? Just get us there, Crunch. Give us a mic. Give us a camera. We'll get them there. Don't worry about it.
They had this thing called fan zone or something. They weren't that good, were they, Sid? Until we get in town.
Steve, appreciate you. I'm going to bring in Lee. Lee, tell us what you feel before we move on to Doncaster. But tell us what you feel about.
I thought that was the other Lee. I thought he was going to bring the mood down, but it's Lee who's going to bring the mood up.
There's no Bud Light to hand, but I do have some Michelob Ultra for you.
So that's the point. What sort of American beer can we, start to appreciate, Darryl? In the fan zone next year.
This was a mistake already.
Lee, what do you think?
I'll tell you what. Green King now own or at least have a part of Goose Island, which is a craft brewery in the States now. Don't know what's happened to it in the last few years, but they were a big deal at one time. So Goose Island, I think their IPA was their biggest thing. That was probably the best you could hope for. But you definitely don't want Bud Light creeping in there.
New Close Bosses, Lee. Goose Island. Based on what we've had previously.
Well, to be honest, I'm all for this takeover, especially with American takeover. With the experiences, in American football, you want the fans to be at the ground straight away. So I'm all for it. It's going to cost a 17.5 million for them to take over, but they're going to invest all the money into it. So I'm all for it. Definitely.
Good man. Yeah.
If I don't know who would have or not seen the post I shot across this morning about there. Just look up Rhode Island USL, and there's a little video of the renderings of what they plan to do there. And if you're excited now, you see those pretty pictures along with the dream, and it's quite breathtaking.
Daryl, the more you speak, I'm now seeing plots of land being built, and we're going to be having a brand new stadium crunch.
We need him on every week. He's
a Sonic.
Get him on every week.
I've never seen Crunch for lost for words, but every time I ask him a question about what you've said, Daryl, he's lost for words.
I just want to let him talk. I just want to listen to him. I don't want to listen to you, Martin. Let him talk.
Harry Butcher, Daryl, you are selling me. Stephen Ferry, see it as a huge investment. Michael Woods, Goose Iron have a brewery bar in Shoreditch, London. Look. Okay, so we've got a game tomorrow. Let's move on to that.
Yes.
I know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Paul Lambert could go and win 5-0 tomorrow. You're not going to be in when they take over. So, but what do we want from tomorrow? We want to win, but what do we expect from tomorrow? Lee, lay down some stats for us, my man.
Right. Okay. So Doncaster Rovers have only won one game in 5 matches so far in the last 5 games. They drew with Hull City last Saturday. They could have nicked it in the last minute, but unfortunately for them, it was a 3-3 draw. And then they lost to...
No, Lee. No. They couldn't have nicked it in the last minute because they equalised in the 12th minute of injury time.
No. Because some minutes he would have scored from a corner. Anyway, so the last 3 games, Accrington, they lost to Sunderland and they lost to Fleetwood. And then they won against Oxford United. So, I think it's going to be quite a interesting game because we're only 5 points behind Doncaster, who are in the playoff last position in 6th. We're at 10th. So, it's going to be a good 6-pointer, really. We need to win that game.
Can you imagine if we creeped into the playoffs and then we got taken over in the championship, spending money like there's no tomorrow? Oh, can you imagine back-to-back? I know I'm getting ahead of myself. You clip this up all you like, Norwich fans, it's fine. But back-to-back promotions, I'm just dreaming. Back to back.
The last time we beat Doncaster at home was in 2014 when Luke Chambers scored in the 84th minute and Daryl Murray.
Oh, what a team.
Right, 2014. Of course,
the Town make the playoffs. They win the semi-finals. In the week between the semi-final and the final, the announcement comes through. The Americans have taken over. Ipswich go to Wembley. They win the final. And instead of confetti at the end, what comes out? Dollar bills raining down.
That's it. That'd be awesome.
Make it rain. Oh,
I'm just waiting for Shane McMahon's music to start playing.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Oh, can you? Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves now by a country mile. But yeah. Oh, okay. So what do we expect the result to be tomorrow then, Crunch? And I'll ask all of you, but Crunch, what do you expect?
I think word on the street or from my man is it's an unchanged lineup, which I think is very good. Keep the same team.
You hearing that, Nunny? So I'm telling my designer about tomorrow.
I think Flynn's available, isn't he? I think he's back from his suspension. So he'll be on the bench. I think it'll be a tight game, but I think we will sneak another. I'll go 2-1 Town.
2-1 Town. All right. Yeah. Daryl?
I will also go 2-1 Town. The one fear is that Donny took off midweek to prepare for this. So they found a way to skip out on Blackpool just because they knew what was coming their way. And but I really don't see it. They're in the position with the game in hand. We're 5 points behind. It would be lovely, but I just don't see us winning it.
It's our week. Look, this time.
All of my optimism is on the takeover, not on the pitch.
But this time last week, Sid, we were drawing 0-0 with Northampton. It was like possibly the worst the fan base could have felt. Now look at us. We're planning our trips to the Emirates.
This time last week, I was ready to jump off the scaffolding, let alone do backflips off it. It's a complete. It's night and day. We're going to win tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, what score?
I'll go 2-1 as well. I can't see
2-1,
Thomas Holy keeping a clean sheet.
He's going for the record, isn't he, though, Lee? You know. So, what do you think, Lee?
I'm going 3-1 Town.
3-1 Town.
Bloody hell!
Who's the danger man for Doncaster?
So there's a few actually. Reece James, who's the left back, he's scored 6 goals already. He did score quite a wonder goal against Hull City last Saturday. So we need to watch out for him. We need to watch out for Taylor Richards, who's on loan from Brighton. He's scored 6 goals in 29 appearances so far. So he's like kind of in between the number 10. So he's the attacking midfielder. And of course, Josh Sims as well, who's on loan at Southampton as well. So they've got quite a good team to look out for, really.
What about the old man, James Coppinger?
Yeah, well, he came on and scored that free kick, didn't he? So,
this is last season, Sid. Last season.
Hell.
Yeah, so,
I was going to say, didn't their whole squad score against us when we played them last time?
I think so, yeah.
I think they still scored.
Is Coppinger's wife still working at Ipswich Hospital?
Oh God, I remember that.
Come on, you must remember that transfer rumour. Coppinger's moving to Ipswich. His wife's got a job at the hospital.
He was in the building, from what I read.
We've had a lot of men in the building.
We have. I saw Mike D's name flash up a second ago in the VIP area, but he's bottled it, guys. He's decided to turn around and walk out. 4-4 says Rex Manning, 1-0 says Adam Cooper, 6-0 Donny. Sean Glenn doesn't care. We are rich. All right, but we still want to win games.
Yeah.
So there's no point. Adam Flat, Sims Taurus, a new one at the keep mo. Andy Snowswell, another clean sheet. David Hughes, Jay Cotton. She's been working there about 10 years now, hasn't she? Yeah. Lee, who's scoring our goals tomorrow then? All these 2-1s, 3-1s. Who's scoring our goals tomorrow?
Well, last time we played them, they had an own goal, so you never know. They might have another own goal from one of the defenders. That'd be nice. But Parrott might get off the score sheet, hopefully. So that'd be interesting if he does. Maybe Norwood as well.
I'd say what the way this week's game, it'd be a 3-0 win. It'd be Drilling scoring hat-trick crunch.
Yeah, never know.
I mean, if that happens, then I will believe anything and everything that Darryl said tonight.
Don't be silly. We won't have players like Hawkins and Drinnan if the Americans come in. They'll be long gone. They'll be playing down at Felixstowe, won't they?
But the other thing there is, I wouldn't expect to see just tons of money thrown in a transfer market. It's going to be the right decisions made, not expensive decisions made. Because if you look at these other teams they're involved in, they've not gone and signed ridiculous people. It will be whatever level of statistics Town uses now to research players, which is probably Guinevere. It will be a more statistical-based, computer-based approach to finding talent, and whether or not they stick with the alleged Evans, they must be British mantra. I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
There you go, Luke. Get your CV in, because if they're going to go that way, then you'll be first on the list. But go on, Sid.
We've never really asked for tens of millions to be thrown at this team. We just want the right investment. That's it.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
I just want competent ownership.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mike, last one, quickly. Not quickly, but last one. How are you, first of all?
Good, how are you?
I'm buzzing, my friend, buzzing.
Me too.
He's got the champagne out. This fan base is so starved of anything positive, anything good, that it's hard not to get the beer out, not to get the champagne out. Where are you on it? Obviously, I think you're obviously seeing it as good news, and the more Darryl tells us, even more good news. But where are you?
I mean, I'm the biggest cynic, but I'm over the moon at the moment. Everything that's being said, I'm loving it. I get what Crunch is saying, I get what Callie's saying, but I'm just thinking positive things. Like, if we stay the way we are, all we're doing is going down to Vanarama. That's it.
Yeah, and I think that's really what all the fans are feeling, because
I get paying the bills and all that, but
bare requirement, though. It's bare requirement, in my opinion.
Every club in this league pays the bills. You know how
exactly.
League, how have Town fallen so far, and clubs that regardless of what we think of them, still actually did have much less money and much less turnover than us, and they're just climbing the league with players that we would never touch. And yet, there we go, just creeping above us, and here we are just waving from below going, shit, what's happened to us?
Yeah. But, I mean, Lambert's kind of right with the structure, isn't he? Because exactly what you're saying is that we've had a shit structure.
Yeah.
So as soon as that's finished, as soon as that's done with, I'm happy.
And those comments now make a bit more sense, don't they, Mike? Because if you're talking really, we all thought he's talking to Evans here, but he could have been talking to brand new owners saying, look, I'm not the answer of the problems. It's the structure around me. You bring that in and make that better, you'll get a different Paul Lambert. That's really what he could have been saying to them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I also think, you have to remember that Cook's turned down 2 jobs. He's turned down Cardiff, he's turned down Sheffield Wednesday. There's obviously something going on massively. And
he's been stuck with Darryl Vision.
I'm excited.
You saw what happened with Cardiff. Just anybody can walk in there and turn that one around. So
I've not heard it put that way before. I like that one. Anyone can walk in there and turn that one around. Oh, I love it. So we're all positive. We're all happy apart from Crunch. He's happy. He's just keeping it.
He's got his merchandise. He's all right. Honey Crunch.
He has. Plug it one more time, Crunch.
Hey?
Your merchandise.
He's like me last week. What?
No, Sid. You were in last week while we were in it. The week before. No. Right. I'm going to leave it there. So, with love, with care, Daryl, Rich, Lee, Sid, Mike, I appreciate all of you. Everybody else who joined in the chat and on the show, again, appreciate you all. We're back tomorrow, 2:30. Milk Tray Man and the Joker with myself for the... who we playing tomorrow? I've forgotten all this excitement.
Donny Rovers.
Of course, Doncaster Rose. All I'm seeing is dollar bills and hot dogs and cheerleaders and all sorts of wonderful Americana things. I love it. Let's have it.